The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing.
Walt Disney.
Speak softly and carry a big stick.
Theodore Roosevelt.
The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams.
Eleanor Roosevelt. Curiosity fosters connection.
Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside while still alive. Never surrender.
Who said that?
Yay, yay, yay. Welcome to the bakery. It is time for Pie Talk with your boy, B. Willis.
Oh, and Priscilla Z. Nice to see everybody today.
I know you guys just seen that cool new intro. What is that? So, we're going to start every show from now on, day one, episode one, pilot's over, season begins, right? Who said that? Every opportunity that you have from now until the end of the show to drop in the comments who you think said the quote or quotes. And then towards the end of the episode, Priscilla will reveal the answer and we'll have some interesting facts to go along with that. So my quote for you today, there's actually three of them. The first one is, there is no end to education. It is not you read a book, pass an examination, and finish with education. The whole of life, from the moment you are born to the moment you die, is a process of learning. This person also said, it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a sick society. Last but not least of the three quotes of who said that is, one is never afraid of the unknown. One is afraid of the known coming to an end. So you'll have until we reveal the answer. Drop it in the comments. If you're watching through Facebook, drop it on the Facebook. We can tell whose comment was first. So if multiple people have the answer, whoever hit it first, we'll send you some merch. Go ahead.
Well, B's got the coffee right now, and we're definitely not pouring out the tea. So just in case we wanted to revamp the concept pie, pursuing internal evolution, we are never trying to digest more negativity, but we are on a mission to be absolutely intentional with our everyday purposes, which is pursuing internal evolution. You want to eat as much pie as you possibly can. And with that, we want to make sure that we are focusing on the ingestion, that you're ingesting what is positive for you to experience the best life possible. You get to decide what kind of pie you make. You get to decide what kind of pie you eat. And you also get to decide what kind of pie you serve to others.
All facts. We will begin each episode as normal in the pilot kind of season. Those first 11 episodes, we were just kind of figuring it out. What do we want it to look like, sound like? We scratch the green screen. We want y'all to see us in our real atmosphere. We got this beautiful logo behind us. We've got our sound blockers. We are ready to go. First segment is Keep Effin' Going, written by Joshua Smith
and Jordan Davis. Thank you both. We appreciate you and we honor this book. Today we're actually on day 11.
How about we start at day one?
But it could be day one.
For those of you that have never tapped in, we're just going to start all the way over.
Oh, perfect.
You want to start?
Yeah, sure. So day one, really cool picture about someone on the starting line. So one day or day one, you decide.
You decide.
You have a choice to make in your life. You can either choose to put things off until one day, or you can decide that today is day one and take actions towards achieving your goals. Ask yourself, what's holding you back from making today day one and taking that first step towards your goals? Is it fear, self-doubt, or is it something else? What can you do to overcome those obstacles and start moving towards the life you want to create? Well, I know what I can do. And I said this at the first time we entered into the day one concept, but man, perfectionism is a killer. When you are trying to be perfect, and you build up something in your mind to a level that is almost unaccomplishable, because truly perfection is a perspective. It could be different to any person out there. You end up halting yourself from progress. So right now we want to be like spiritually fit and on a progressive movement to always choose to activate whatever it is in our soul that we want to do and just to go for it. Like my sister Betty, it's incredible. That girl gets more done in 24 hours than anybody I know. And she got the same 24 hours as everybody else. But what is the difference in her day is she just keep effing going, to be real. It doesn't matter if she doesn't know how to do something or if she's not the best at it. If she wants to accomplish it, she's just going to charge in. She's going to do her best and she's going to try to make it work.
It's about focus. When you're focused on something that you want, you don't even allow space in your mind for the possibility that you can't, shouldn't, or won't be able to do it. You just go for it and you make things work out. Things don't just work out. They don't work themselves out. You put in the work and you reap the benefits, right? So our day one, again, this is our new setup. This is what you can get used to. Quality sound, quality content, a nice structure. It's never scripted. We have started a journey on a whim. And we decided our day one was actually at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And we were going to come into this year like, oh, we're going to do all these things with this and we're going to perfect it first. And we're going to make sure all the pieces are together and then we're going to go. And so we dropped our intro pilot. That thing had a few hundred views right away. And we had people commenting, we want more pie. What is this concept? And so we just started recording episodes. We didn't think about perfectionism. We didn't think about sometimes the green screen didn't work out in the edits and you could see little glitches and blurs coming through. But the mission is the content.
Yeah.
It's about what can we do to help ourselves help ourselves. How are we achieving greatness within our own bodies and our own space and our own spiritual well-being? Pie Talk is about pursuing internal evolution. It's about becoming whole, writing your own narrative, and taking accountability.
Something that stops me in my tracks that was also just on that page is self-doubt and fear. And really self-doubt and fear is when you're revolving concepts around expectations that other people have of you. You're worried about how is this going to work out for everybody else. So when we started this concept, I remember B was talking about like, okay, we're going to drop one every day for 365 days. And then I thought, oh God, the expectation of that. How are we going to do that? How are we going to stay online? How are the numbers going to match? And all of those perfection concepts came into play. But the truth of the matter is that this has evolved in a very organic, natural manner. And it's been gratifying. Every last part of Pie Talk, be it what we do and produce here in front of you guys, to how we interact with you, to how we interact with you guys in public. People come up to us randomly and just say, wow, this was intriguing. I appreciate this. Nobody was concerned with the agreement to drop 365 days every single day. No one cared about that at all. They just cared that we were showing up, we were doing our best, and we were absolutely throwing out our full-bodied intentions to create pie in everything that we do. I'm like, next up right now, we've got some things on the list. We got our daily challenges.
Ooh. Me first.
Please and thank you.
Daily challenge comes from a game that was gifted to me called Better Than Yesterday. And these cards are just meant to challenge you in ways that you maybe never been challenged. Step outside of your comfort zone. One of them that we did in the pilot season, so to speak, is the ask someone wearing headphones what they're listening to. I did that at the gym the other day. And long story short, it became a new follower, a completely intrigued interest. This person was listening to my music while they were working out. They subscribed to Loving Lacey podcast and Pie Talk podcast, all because I asked them what was in their headphones.
Yeah, I'm like, I believe that God and like the universe speaks through music. And I did the same thing. I got a song that I just put onto my Apple Music, and then a playlist started to roll. And as it started to roll, like song after song was like hitting. And I was like, whoa, oh, that was a message I needed. And, anyways, it was so beautiful because it was a gift that I was not expecting just by that one song that I asked somebody about.
Nice. So my card is better than yesterday, and these are all randomly picked. Number 81. 81 in numerology equates to 9, which is like the end of something right before you start something new. Fitting.
Mm-hmm.
So we have try a new restaurant you've never been to. When was the last time you tried something totally new?
Oh, man.
So that's your daily challenge for this episode. And Priscilla has one.
Something that I kind of suggest on that one too is if you identify with like a country or like a different person or culture that you really love, go look up what kind of food is available around us to explore that, so you can use the opportunity to not only try something new, but to investigate something that you might be really interested in that you wouldn't give your chance to learn about. So my card, better than yesterday, you're a limited edition. I love this. And
Ooh.
would you know it, it's number 109.
Which actually equates to 10. 10 breaks down to 1.
Yeah, I love it.
You can't write this stuff.
No, you can't. Well, actually, it says to write down and finish the sentence. I love myself because. It says, give yourself more credit for the amazing person you are and the impact you have on the world around you. This reminds me of my dad. He always told me, Priscilla, did you know that you are an INC, that you are an incorporation, and that it's called Priscilla Zal, and you're the only Priscilla Zal in the whole world that is just like you. And then he said, underneath my corporation, I had all different sublet businesses. I had my family, my friends, my schooling, my hobbies. And every last portion of who you are is valuable. Honoring all of the different qualities that you decide are a part of your narrative are the best way, I think, to give yourself some credit.
So give yourself some credit. Finish the sentence.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Got her.
I know, right? On the spot. I love myself because I am quirky. I love that I'm unique and like kind of a little oddball. And that's something I did not honor back in the day. I actually tried to suppress that quite a bit. But right now, I love the way that like I have little like jokes that pop into my head, and I just say them, and they end up making light and love everywhere I go. Now, if I were to hesitate being a little corkball, I think I wouldn't have as much fun and I wouldn't develop as many connections as I do. So I love being quirky.
I love myself because I'm be active. Like,
Yeah.
no. But seriously, I do love myself because I have been gifted universal energy and drive that I don't know where it comes from. I can't explain it. It's allowed
So
me to
cool.
do things and break barriers and reach heights and create beautiful connections just wherever I go. And it's allowed me to overcome a lot of trials and tribulations.
Yeah, I'm like, think about that name, Be Active. I mean,
Be active.
hello in itself, it explains it. But I've never seen an adult have what they, when you see a kid flying around doing all sorts of stuff and they're like, oh, I wish I could bottle that energy up. I'm like, B legit drinks that instead of tea. He has the energy to get it all done. It's so cool.
I don't even know if I drink it so much as produce it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I sweat that.
Yeah, you admits it into the world. It's the coolest.
Catch me at the gym, bottle up my sweat. See if you don't stay awake for 9 days straight.
Totally. I love that.
You get a lot done, though.
Absolutely. So today we've got a really fun topic of our show. Would you like to take the lead on that?
Well, the topic of today is what drives us.
To be active?
All that.
Super fitting.
So we're going to go into just, I get it in my messenger. I know Priscilla has been asked this by viewers. And before we get into that, thank you for commenting, for following, for perpetuating the growth and the baking of the pie. Like, we do this for free.
Yeah.
Because of you, because of your interest. We put polls up in the Facebook page, and y'all are engaging. It is so awesome. Thank you. All of you that are interested, that want this content, all of you guests that are scheduled to come. Thank you.
Absolutely. I would like to start off by saying something that really drives me is energetic currency. I live on it. It's a way of elevating your all day, every day. And when we are here presenting everything that we love to you guys, we ourselves are producing, like he was saying, he's sweating that out at the gym, that be active. And it gives you a natural high that you're present in life and that you're in this God light, good light. It's exceptional. But then on the receiving end, it's just like how the rivers of the earth, they flow into an ocean eventually, and then we've got this big, gorgeous view and all of these waves to push and pull us around. And I'm like, you guys are the ocean, we just started out as the little baby stream river that ends up to where you guys all have bountiful gifts, and we appreciate the currency that you guys gift right back.
I appreciate your currency. I can meditate on Priscilla's visuals.
Yeah.
That shit's great. Speaking of, we got some treats at the end of the show.
Yeah, it'll be
but
fun.
What drives me is I come from a family of driven people. My father was in the Marines. My mom was a go-getter, single mom to 3 boys and another boy that came later into the picture. My brother David, shout out. You will be on the show soon. We need a bigger studio, but we got you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I really think comes, is instilled in me is the fact that when I was young, I watched my mom and her sisters move from one state. We came all the way from New York, and one by one, they moved into the Northwest. And as they did, they came here as entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. And so by the time my mom moved with me and my brothers here, they were running businesses. My auntie had a flower shop. My uncle had a construction company. Not soon after my mom got here, she opened up an alteration shop called The Busy Needle. And I remember when it came to things that I wanted to do, I made a comment once when I was younger, and it's moments like this in parenting that will always stick with me. And I was like, I want to act. And my mom turned to me and was like, are you sure? Do you really want to? We can put you in acting classes. There was never no shut down to any dream or any idea I had about what I could do or would want to do. My mama always motivated us. When we played football, she filled our 2-car garage with all the weight equipment you could think of. We had treadmills and weight benches and pull-up bars. She facilitated an environment of, if you think you can do it, do it.
Yeah, absolutely. My father was the same. He was also an entrepreneur. And it's crazy when you show the gift of being an example, what that does for your children is exponential. And this sounds like your family was really resilient. They were really on top of the concept that they could do anything that they wanted to if they set their mind to it. And one thing that my dad shared with me that has always stuck in my mind and in everything that I do is he would say that, Priscilla, and this goes out to all of you guys too, we can learn anything that we want to learn. We can become anything that we want to become, but all we have to do is find resources, read some books. Nowadays we can get online, we can find anything. You can go to YouTube College. I love YouTube College. I learned how to make the best poached egg on YouTube College. But basically that you can go out into the world, ask questions, be humble, find somebody else that B has mentors in his life. And now B is my mentor. And we get to be in constant state of progression in any direction that we wish to go in, because we are open to the idea of we can do it all if we want to. It is up to us. And also, I like what your mom did too. She filtered into your individual concepts and needs. And I think that's something we should all do for ourselves, and of course our children too. Like, if there's something that you're interested in, give yourself the chance, man. Surround yourself with all the things that are going to make you a better version of that.
Yeah.
And ask questions.
Always ask questions. Curiosity fosters connection.
Hello.
I know y'all heard that in the little intro clip, and that's my 6-year-old who said that. So that brings up an interesting point. What drives me is my mentors. My very first and most profound mentor is my mom. Yeah. Shout out to my mom for being intelligent, college driven, super headstrong, independent. Like, I mean, I've seen her work multiple jobs, graveyard, then go to another job just to take care of us and make sure we had, you know, the styles and the upbringing that a lot of kids in poverty and that are, you know, unable to have. Like, she worked really hard for us to have that in a single parent household. And for my other mentors, speaking of what drives me, I have to give big shout outs to Joshua Smith, Threat Brown. Like, ever since I came home, and Jill of New You, we call her No Chill Jill from the PB&J episodes, which will continue in this official new season, right? Shout out profoundly to Ninja. This has been, if everything I learned was a martial art, Ninja has been my sensei when it comes to being driven, being business oriented, family, you know, what that looks like, what it means to put aside other people's feelings and do what you have to do to pursue your dreams and make sure that you're okay with self, and then making sure at the end of the tunnel is giving back to your family and that everything you're doing has a purpose. Big shout out to Ninja, and he's commented, he's followed every single thing I've ever done, whether it was music, the first podcast I started, and he follows this one. He literally texts me on a regular and tells me he's my biggest fan. You know, shout out to Steph Tompkins, you know, my native auntie mentor / boss, for believing in me, for hiring me when I was fresh out of federal prison, but still living in a federal halfway house. You know, people even told her essentially not to, because I was still an active gang member, and people tried to get in the way of my bag. People tried to get in the way of my reentry and my success. And Stephanie batted that down, looked me in my face and was like, I got your back. I believe in you. And since then, because of her, I'm an anger management specialist. She just sent me to a training, Positive Indian Parenting, which, you know, to do these trainings when I'm working, I have to have her approval. And Bree, you know, my manager, my direct supervisor, like, these are the people that inspire me. It appears that I have this internal flame that lights my path. But without these people mentoring me and offering me guidance and support, it might look a lot different a year after getting out of a federal prison sentence. You know, Jerry Muma has helped me in the nonprofit space, and all the people involved in that arena. Shout out to Star and Brian and Donna and Ade and the people that are on the board for Pursue It If You Want It. Like, you talk about what drives me, aside from myself, all of that support, all of my mentors, all of the people that I look to when I'm stuck, because I used to think I had to have all the answers and I had to navigate my life in a way that I could give all the advice in the world and help all the people in the world and all my friends and family, but I never felt I had somewhere to go to receive it, with the exception of Ninja for over the last decade. And now I have a little army of people that I look up to, that I respect, that I seek knowledge from, and they're all creating something phenomenal inside me, and I'm honored to bring that to the world and to bring that to Pi, and then I can turn around and give what they've given me to Priscilla and have my own mentee in life, in business, and all these different things. So
Yeah, something I would like to really honor is, like you said, that army of people. Well, I'm one of the soldiers now. I'm a warrior in arms as well with these friends. And what's incredible is they gave all of these gifts to B. And I don't know if many of you guys know this, but I've only known B for like 2 months. Like
maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe. And like, to be really real with you, like, I have grown. My day one has happened over and over and over again. And it was the gifts of all of those people that supported him in his positive growth and progression that are now, it's the currency, like I was talking about earlier, that river into the ocean. Now they are all gifting through B into me. And I mean, the things that I'm learning from these inspiring people are just beyond what I had expected I would receive. And I am absolutely in full gratitude. So thank you to all of the folks that B just spoke about. I appreciate and honor each and every one of you.
Me too.
Yeah.
For real.
It's a big gift.
So we're going to tap into our 4 agreements segment. We have these cards. Each one's a different agreement. If you aren't familiar with the 4 agreements, they're written by Don Miguel Ruiz. And he brings us the gift of the Toltec wisdom. I've been trying to follow these 4 agreements for over 10 years, since I've heard them. And
Same.
it's be impeccable with your word. Don't make assumptions. Don't take anything personally, and always do your best. So each of these cards gives us a piece of that and something to focus on in alignment with one of those agreements. And I will grab a stack here. Randomly give Priscilla 2.
Perfect.
And you can start.
All right. So it says, always do your best. Practice makes the master. By doing your best over and over, you can master the art of transformation. By doing your best, the habits of misusing your words, taking things personally, and making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent with time. So I would like to go to neural pathways. Neural pathways are things that you have within your mindset, and they could be that you're not worth it. They could be that you don't get everything in life that you deserve. And if you do those neural pathways like a bike that's going on a track, over and over and over around that circle, those tracks get really deep. And so when you don't know what to do in life and you're kind of bumbling along, you end up dropping right into that track. Well, the point of creating a new mastermind is making new tracks in your neural pathways. And the more that you practice these concepts, the more your bike gets to go around in a new design that you create. Your narrative becomes that master track. And so then when times get rough, instead of popping off into the old tapes, you pop into the new music that you've created for yourself. And that one song with the universe is the one that you truly belong in. So give yourself the chance and create those new neural pathways.
Wow.
Please and thank you.
I'm telling you, I can meditate just these visuals, right? Still in her visuals. So if you're listening like on iHeart or Apple or Spotify, then I imagine that she's going to take you on a journey. So my first card that I'm going to read is be impeccable with your word.
That picture.
Become a white magician.
Mm.
So I don't know if you guys can see this. That's the picture Priscilla loves. And the card says, all the magic you possess is based on your word. And you cast spells all the time with your opinions.
Okay.
You can either put a spell on someone with your word, or you can release someone from a spell.
Oof.
That's a hell of a visual. And I say it all the time, when I talk about being impeccable with your word, that's 2 ways to look at it. Another 2 is you can speak medicine or you can speak poison. So just think to yourself, take a moment when you're about to be into an argument or a defensive conversation, when you're about to say something, and ask yourself, is this going to heal or harm?
Mhm.
Am I about to send medicine at this person, or am I about to send poison this person's way? And when you send poison at someone else, you're sending poison at yourself, because that
100%.
poisonous energy hits them, and then they become resentful, and they're going to send it right back, even with their energy or immediately with their words.
Yeah, I love etymology and the study of words. I find it to be super valuable, but very simplistic. So if you're not that into magic or spelling, let me break something down for you really quick. When you're writing down something in a book or you're writing down a word, you are spelling. You are creating a spell just by the words alone. And so every thought that we create, everything that we write down, it's literally like some Harry Potter Hogwarts stuff, man. You're making magic, you're making those spells, and you're hearing them too. So when you cast off those words that might not be that great for somebody else, you think you're gifting, really you're gifting yourself the same spell. So make sure to be impeccable with your words so that your magic is that white light. We want to focus on that for surely. My next card is don't make assumptions. Ask for what you want. Find the courage to ask for what you want. Others have the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you for what they want. And the best part, you have the right to say yes or no.
No is a complete sentence.
I just learned it. It's my favorite. I absolutely did not think that I could say no to people for a very long time. I was quite the people pleaser. And man, it was to my own detriment. Right now, I have a much more authentic design. And I really honor myself in whether or not I say yes or no to people and their requests. And then it also gives me a lot more consideration for others and whether or not what I'm asking them is something that is my demand or if it was an actual question.
I can relate. I used to have a very difficult problem telling people no and allowing people to control me with guilt tripping and things of that nature. And now I use a lot of funny ways, like, I just tell somebody, I'm not interested, or that's not my favorite, and just let people down easy. Because, in our society, even though you want to stand on your truth, sometimes our truth can be harmful to people who aren't in a space where they're ready to accept a no. And so just being mindful as you elevate yourself, as we elevate, it's our responsibility to meet others where they're at in their journey. And so I try to be mindful of that as well. The last one is don't take anything personally. Imagine right after that last sentence. All right. Become immune to poison. Interesting.
Super.
The whole world can gossip about you. And if you don't take it personally, you are immune. Immunity to poison in the middle of hell is the gift of the second agreement.
Yeah, I recently had a lot of people spitting some poison and their opinions, I guess, about me. And for one of the first times in my life, because these people are important to me. I value them. I value their words. But I didn't value those words. And I didn't drink the tea. I didn't drink the poison. And when they were saying the things that they were saying, I just stopped for a moment and I thought, I wonder why they need to say those things. I wonder what's going on with them that makes them speak that way, and that none of it had anything to do with me, and that I didn't agree.
Sounds like curiosity fostering connection.
Absolute toots. And it was also nice to just bridge the gap in a way that I didn't even have to force anything on them. I didn't change what they were saying, but I did get to have a little humble nature in how I saw them, and I still love them and appreciate who they are. But their version or their narrative of me, their negativity, is just not something that I'm ever going to drink. And I like that. It's nice.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, it felt great.
So we are about to reveal the answer to the quote.
Yeah, so
Who said that? Who said
I
that?
have to say that as much as I want to gift the answer, I also have to ask a question. So the answer is, I believe, Jiddu Krishnamurti. But I don't know if I said that correctly. So
I
B,
believe it's Krishnamurti.
Krishnamurti. Okay, it's okay to ask questions. I like that. I just learned
And there's some
something.
interesting, just a little bit of background you can share about Krishnamurti.
So Krishnamurti was born on the 11th of May in 1895 in Madhuvanapal, Madras Presidency in British India. I'm excited to actually look up the etymology on those words so I can go further with that. In his initial life, he was prepared to be the New World teacher. However, later rejected his mantle and pulled back from the philosophy association behind it. His interests included philosophical revolution, meditation, human relationships, the nature of the mind, inquiry, and bringing radical change in public society. I'm not surprised that you brought this into play.
So in my studies, while I sat down for many moons inside, physical incarcerations along with many mental prisons, I came across the teachings of Jiddu Krishnamurti. And he opened my eyes in so many ways. And as these quotes come out throughout these episodes, you will learn a lot about what I've learned and what got me on my journey, as well as Priscilla. There's some authors that she's hit me to, and I'm like, oh, and I start reading stuff about them, and I'm just intrigued and fascinated by how many of these great human beings that were making pie way before us, right? So there's a couple other quotes that he said that we'll leave you with is the ability to observe without evaluating is the highest form of intelligence. Be a witness. Sounds like an episode we did before.
Yes, absolutely. Still progressing.
A second one is you must understand the whole of life, not just one little part of it. And the third one is when I understand myself, I understand you. And out of that understanding comes love. Pursue eternal evolution.
Oh man, that was a great gift. Thank you so much. And then also, I think it's really cool to see that these people have been serving pie long before we were even here. I mean, it's incredible to see that pie has been on the table. And it's just a matter of where you find it and what you want to ingest. So thank you for eating so much pie in your past. I appreciate what you're presenting.
I feel so intellectually nourished.
I love it.
So normally, if you guys been watching the first 11 pilot episodes, we would have ended around the 4 agreements section. Now we are extending with some pie for the people, just more of a casual flow to things. But first, I want to bring up that I made a post in the Facebook page and the Pie Talk Community Connections Facebook group. It's public. Answer the questions and you can join the conversation. And the question was, create an acronym for PIE, P-I-E. And boy, did we get a lot of attention with that. So I have some screenshots of just some of the favorites. Whoever has the most likes by the end of the week, you will get your option to receive some merch. Maybe a mug, maybe a shirt, maybe a mouse pad with this beautiful logo on it. And there's some funny ones and there's some serious ones. So Matt Ackerman said, peace in enlightenment. He got 4 likes so far. Lacey Willis said, peers in engagement.
Love it.
Right?
Sounds like a career.
And Matt Ackerman again said, partially intelligent elephants.
Sounds like him.
He's got 3 smiley faces, right? Lacey again said, people influencing evolutions. I think she's talking about us,
Totally dig.
right? Donna M. Aubrey said, pursuing inspiration every day.
Sounds like Donna.
You go read a couple of those. I just read that first one on top.
Yeah, so another one from Donna is positive inspirational enlightenment. And I have to tell you, Miss Donna, shout out to her. She's absolutely living by her impeccable word right now. I'm very, very proud to know this woman. We've got Marilyn McKee. She says pleasant inspirational enchantment. Kind of brings the mystic and the magic to play. I like that. We've got Princess Willis. Pursuing internal evolution.
She stole ours, but that's awesome. Princess Willis happens to be my daughter.
Sounds like a daughter thing to say. Scooping in on the ideas and taking them for her own. I love it, girl.
Yeah.
We got Kara Bates. Peaceful intuition exists.
Ooh.
Great affirmation.
Peaceful intuition exists.
Yeah, Shannon.
That it does.
Oh,
That it does.
Shannon Mathis is passionate, insightful education, which is something Miss Shannon absolutely provides our community. So that's a beautiful gift as well. Erin Adams Chase, preternatural intuition exploration.
Oh, you guys either went to Google, took out your dictionaries. I really appreciate all this love and contribution and engagement. Continue, like, share, drop your comments, put your questions into the atmosphere, put them into the public group. We monitor those groups, we monitor the page. We are highly responsive. We really appreciate the interaction and engagement.
Yeah, so we'll head to my cousin, who, again, is living by this stuff. You know, her transformation in life has been just absolutely incredible. And I do believe the reason that she's so successful is perspective is everything. You can see life however you wish to see it. And I like honoring my own perspective and applying it in a positive way. We've got Miss Sarah. She says, prolific inspiration every day. And she also said, that's you, which I did.
Oh, that's what's up. Shout out, Sarah.
Lynette, who I absolutely love. She is just a really cool person that I met on Facebook. I've never met her in person, but she gifts positivity like I have never seen. This woman believes in me, believes in my daughter, believes in my family, believes in my aspirations, and we have never seen each other in the physical flesh.
Why don't you just say it? Invite her to the damn show.
I would love for you to be here, Lynette. It would be amazing. And what she offered is that she is positive in every way, and man, is she. And it elevates, dude. She's got it down. Should we read a couple more, or what do you think?
Yeah, man, let's honor the people, man. They put in the work. Let's give it to them.
So we've got Jenny Jenks, another great friend. Personal independent exploration.
Ooh, get on that Indiana Jones, but internally.
Absolutely. I think
Or
it's like
Tomb Raider.
It's like a twist on Pi, too, to where it's more about a very independent version of those concepts, which is wonderful. We've got Jill with positive inner energy.
Shout out No Chill Jill.
Which I actually love because Jill, with her company Nobu, she produces food. So she literally produces positive inner energy by what she puts in her body.
Shout out to New You Cooking and Consulting.
Absolutely. And
Look it up.
We've got Adam Gonzalez, who is another podcast friend of ours. And he says, personally introducing everyone.
Well, I guess we could do that whenever there's a guest on the show. We can personally introduce everyone that comes on to Pi.
I love it. Then we've got Miss Lynette again with personal independent energy. Chris Joseph, a great friend from high school. People in elevation.
Ooh.
Living on up.
What about that one? There's one more, I think.
Oh,
Patience in evolving.
Thank you to Petal and Pine Photography. I love that.
I love that because that's a lesson in and of itself, right? Give yourself grace, appreciate the progress that you're making, and keep effing going, man.
I love it. So right now we're going to step into just a part of our new segment, which is some philanthropy news. And we really don't know what this looks like other than we're just stepping into it. And so today I pulled up a topic, which is, it's just revolving around the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And I think that this concept could then be applicated to everybody. But it says that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the CEO, calls for billionaires to give away more and soon. And so right now, I know a lot of you guys out there are seeing that there's a really interesting economic flux in the world. And there are some people that are really hitting it hard when it comes to sacrificing things and having to budget. Prices of food and gas and all of those things are a little higher, and it's definitely different to navigate. Now, if we have people that are at a lower tier level economically with the USD, if they're the only people giving that amount to the world, we're kind of staying kind of stagnant, and a lot of nonprofits are suffering because of this. The giving hearts of those that are actually in need are the ones that have been giving and perpetuating quite a bit into the nonprofits, where I believe what Bill Gates is trying to acknowledge is that there's people that have a higher currency with the USD, and if they decide to trickle that down in, they're going to end up developing successes for generations to come. They could change not just what's happening on this level in this plane, but for our kids and our children's children. This, though, can also be dropped down to our currency that we speak about, our energetic currency. So if you're a billionaire in your energy, you should gift it as well, because just like the people that are mentoring B, they have a high energetic currency. The things that they've gifted to B have been incredible. And with their gifts, he received them. He's now gifting them to me, and I've already gifted them to my baby in many, many ways in my growth. Yeah, so again,
Zai's super in tune. She's a very old and intelligent and emotionally intelligent 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Same goes for my 9-year-old Aries. Like, these children are recipients of what we are practicing, because we aren't just saying these things.
No.
We are trying our very best to model them. And the fourth agreement is always do your best. Mm-hmm. And that actually leads into kind of the next segment, because congratulations to ourselves real quick.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
We are both NAMA, National Anger Management Association, CAMS 1, which is Certified Anger Management Specialists. So we are anger management instructors. And so part of our show now is to just drop a little drop in the bucket of what that means and what that looks like. So some tips and some practical application of what it looks like when you're learning to regulate your big emotions, right? Yeah. Because one concept around anger management that I have and that I'm learning to stand on more and more, especially as I went through the certification process, is anger is not good or bad.
Yes.
It exists.
It's real.
We will always have it, and we will always experience. So even though it's called anger management, Priscilla and I have decided that what we will be bringing to the community with our practice is aggression suppression. Mm-hmm. Because it's not the anger that you can control or manage. It's how you manage when you experience anger. What are you doing about it? Is it causing damage? Are you raging? Are you lashing out with not so impeccable words and hurting people with your poisonous talk?
I was like back in high school, out in River Ridge, they had this program and it was called Stop, Think About It. And it got everybody to like put their hand up and kind of create that moment. But the truth is that there were so many kids that were dealing with a lot of anger. They had a lot of things going on in their lives, be it their family dynamics, so the way that school was fleshing out. And when the anger wasn't approached, when they didn't stop and think about what was really happening, they developed more resentment and more rage within themselves. And then that would filter out in aggression. So really funny, but when I was in training, I was being bombarded by a lot of things that were making me very angry. And it was kind of cool to be sitting in an anger management class and being practically applying it in real time right away. Like I didn't even get a chance to finish my books. What I realized was I said, wow, I totally feel angry. It's real. But I wasn't a bad person for feeling that. I didn't have guilt or shame around it. And because I just touched it just for a couple seconds and I stopped and I thought about it, I saw the perspective of other people. I tried not to take things personally. And I got to simmer my tea down before it boiled over and spilled out into something that I did not want to share. It was beautiful. I turned it into pie immediately. And to be very honest, I chose silence, although it didn't mean that I wasn't honoring myself. I just chose silence in what I didn't want to spell out to other people. And I didn't want that spell coming back on me. I was in the moment, felt the feelings on my own. I actually went out to the fountain in downtown Olympia. It wasn't on, but that area by the fountain and the water is very beautiful. You've got the Capitol building right behind you and the beautiful ocean right there at the bay. And I just took a couple minutes looking up at the trees and I thought, man, I really love life. And that's what I'm going to focus my energy on right now. I appreciate those people and what we're all experiencing together, but by no means am I going to get aggressive or show any form of anger towards them, because that's not actually what makes me feel good inside. And it was beautiful. It was so enlightening to be present in that. But also, again, it was because I acknowledged the anger. I said it was okay, and I didn't guilt or shame myself.
Great.
Yeah.
Super cool. So part of this practical application and like modeling is we try to come up with within the last 7 days some type of way where we applied what it is that we're talking about. And one thing I noticed like in my personal life is really like giving my wife credit randomly. Like, she's stepping out of her comfort zone in parenting and trying on new things and learning new ways to go about communicating with our children. And, I had to take a moment and I noticed a very obvious shift in her energy and her patience level. And you could almost see it. It was almost palpable, the effort she made to respond different than she has been responding. And, acknowledging that for me was uplifting, not only for her obviously, but when you see something you think, oh, that's dope, say it. Give somebody that acknowledgement, give them that gift, because sometimes you don't know how often a person is getting praise or craves it, or could just benefit from some medicine coming out of your mouth and into their spirit.
Yeah, it's like what that reminds me of again is we're going to go back to spelling and spells. And so like when we focus on the negative portions of life, we're actually casting more negativity. But you had the opportunity to cast a spell on her. You gave her that positive acknowledgement. And then I bet, and I'm just assuming, but I bet that made her feel that positive growth in nature and is only going to perpetuate it further.
Yeah.
And then you received the spell back because you got to honor it and feel proud and excited about the progress. And with that, I did want to touch base. Another portion of our second half and our segment is going to be that we talk about the Blueprint Agreement. So the Blueprints, it stands for betterment, love, unity, preserving, recovery, intentionally navigating trauma. And all of us have experienced trauma at one point or another in our life, and recovering from that is a beautiful thing that we all get to do. Today, in honor of the things that we've been talking about, I picked an agreement that I'd like to read to you all. I agree that I will do my best to preserve my progress in recovery and growth, and to use the tools I have gained and will gain to be intentional in my healing. I will seek to face my past, present, and future experiences with intent to navigate trauma with as little collateral damage to others as possible. I will do my best to remind myself not to hold others responsible for my behaviors, my traumas, or my peace. Sure does wrap into everything that we said today.
It does. And that being said, we have another segment, but we're not going to include it in the episode. But I would like you to let us know. This is a call to action. Either the Pi Talk Facebook page or Pi Talk Community Connections Facebook group, or message right here in the YouTube video comments. How much interest do you have in guided meditation by Priscilla Z?
I'm like, visuals are a really great healing tool and mechanism, and my mind sees in pictures. My daughter says that too. She says, Mama, I can see pictures in my head, and sometimes it's like seeing her Christmas presents before Christmas. So she's pretty good at it. But I love the fact that our brain can create a movie or a story, and we can use that as a way of navigating ourselves in situations that might feel chaotic, or might feel like you're lost and you need some guidance. So I would love to offer that to everybody if you're interested. And yeah, like B said, let us know right into the comments, and let us see if that's something that you're interested in. Or if you have a guided meditation that you've used personally, please send it our way so that we can also utilize that as a tool that we can apply to our own recovery.
And as far as it comes with like philanthropy, or if you want to honor somebody in your life that does something just profound, like a dad, a mom, so you had a really, really good experience with a nonprofit or with a stranger, and they just did something that just showed you that they're committed to community and connection, email us
please
at pitalkpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll feature your story, or we'll feature that person and honor them and their ability to create connection within our community. And that being said, we are out. Episode 1, official season 1 complete. The pilot's over.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks for showing up for yourself.
I just love the new studio.
Me too. I love our logo so much. It's the best.
Definitely. It's dope. Let's do it. We'll see you guys next time.
Take it easy.